Everybody, it's Dr. Sam Robbins. Today's video, again, like I said in my another video that I did, was it's going to be a little bit different. And today's topic is basically what I believe to be probably, a lot of people may disagree, but probably a very big primary cause of so many health problems and death. This could be cancer, this could be heart disease, you name it. And I'll start off with a story. So my mom has basically, there's 7 brothers and sisters, 4 sisters and 3 brothers. And they have the youngest ones, you know, to the oldest ones. And obviously it's mixed. And then as far as financial, you know, they have, some are poor, some are very rich, and so on and so forth. So anyhow, the point I'm making here is that a couple years ago, well, shoot, maybe it's about 5 years ago, my aunt died, and she had a colon cancer, right? And all brothers and sisters, the ones who are sick, they have something in common. So this is the preface of the story. And she got colon cancer multiple times, and she died. She was the youngest out of all the siblings who died, okay? Then she has an older sister, much older, and she got Parkinson's like 20 years ago. She's basically a vegetable right now. But somehow she's still alive, but basically just lays in bed, no communication, no anything. And then I have an uncle who also has cancer and has had it for a few years, okay, and leukemia and so forth. Now, all 3 of them, there's one thing they all have in common. They are big time negative stressors, right? So my aunt, you know, the youngest one who had died, who colon cancer, mind you, they're all alive with the exception of that youngest aunt of mine. They all tend to, again, be upset all the time, angry all the time, live in resentment all the time, blame all the time, worry, fight or flight, always full of anxiety. For example, the aunt who died, she got in a car accident once and she never drove again. This was like 40 years ago, okay? And another one of my aunts, same thing. She got in a really bad accident and then she never drove again because it was just so stressful for them, right? And my other uncle who has cancer, he is always negative, always blaming, always, whoa, this and whoa, that, how come this, how come that? It's like that aunt, I remember I said, oh, aunt, like, what if you won the lottery and you won $1 million? How would you feel? First thing she says is, oh, I got to pay all this money in taxes. And then what if other people want my money? I'm going to get the evil eye and I got to have a target on my back. That's all the first things that came to her mind were negative. Never like, oh, wow, that's fantastic. I'll be able to like travel. I'll be able to help people. It was never any of that. It was just always negative. So I say all this. Mind you, that youngest aunt who died, she was always like stressed out and worried about everything and stuff, working, 7 days a week, always stressing about money and every little thing. And she had plenty of money. She was extremely healthy, walked 5 miles every day, was always, lean and not fat or overweight, no blood sugar problems, no blood pressure problems, no cholesterol problems. She is the one who in like 40, 50 years ago would do intermittent fasting, okay? She's the one who would, after a warm shower, go take a very cold shower, like at the end, like that's all in vogue now, taking cold plunges and stuff like that. She would always, eat wholesome foods, like extremely healthy. And it's like she knew that back then, 40, 50 years ago. And she always lived a very healthy lifestyle. And yet she got multiple cancers and she died out of earliest out of everyone, okay? What does this mean? That does not mean like, oh man, you're gonna die anyhow and screw it out, you might as well eat pizza and never work out. The point with this story is that your mindset, if you're always in a negative place all the time and you're constantly worried and you're constantly living in blame and the past and resentment and anger and why can't I have this and jealousy and all those negative, what I call emotions, that will eat you up all day long. You'll go to bed with that negative thought. You'll have negative dreams. You'll have negative thoughts. You wake up with anxiety and stress. It's one thing to have bouts of stress, which is totally fine and good for you, but you're constantly creating internal stress all the time. That means your body's constantly creating negative stress hormones all the time. Okay, so keep this in mind. It's not good for you. So your mindset is the most powerful thing you have. Okay, that's what separates us from all the animals. Okay, anything that's found in our body can be found, as the saying goes, in a horse or a pig. Okay, but it's our mind. So use it for something good and positive. Have that quote unquote attitude of gratitude. As hard as it is, that in itself is a muscle that you need to flex. Okay, kids aren't inherently negative. Okay, you learn to be negative. Maybe you've gone through some trauma, or you're the Great Depression you went through, the Holocaust, whatever it might be. Okay, something really bad, your slavery, the ancestors, I don't know. But you can't live in that past. Okay, you got to be like so grateful that now you have an opportunity and see what you have, because whatever you think is right in your head. So if you think something negative, it's right. If you think something's positive, you're right. There's always something negative and positive no matter what you do. Okay, so get in a habit of being more positive and more grateful and appreciating what you have. As that muscle gets flexed more often, okay, you'll get better at being positive. Because right now, for anyone else negative, I tend to be that way. I tend to like go in a bad place in my head, but I'm naturally an optimist. But if you start flexing that negative muscle more and more, harder and harder, more often, that gets bigger. And then your positive, optimistic, grateful muscle gets weaker and weaker. So just think that if you're having a hard time now, just try to do that. Go in a better place. It's kind of like if something bad happens, you get in a horrible car accident, you can say, oh man, my car's ruined. Now my insurance is going to go up. Now I got to get a car rental. You could do that. I get it. It's natural. But maybe your mindset would be, hey, you know what? Thank God I'm alive. Thank God I didn't kill anyone. Thank God I didn't get killed. Thank God I didn't break anything. Man, if I broke my hands or something, I can't work out, I can't type, I can't do anything. My life would be miserable. So whatever it is, try to go to a positive place. And if it's something negative, you might ask yourself, well, what else could this mean? And start thinking something positive. Well, as you start to think something positive, you ask yourself, all right, well, what else could this mean? Well, positive. And what else could this mean? Positive. As you start adding more positive layers to that, your place starts to go in a positive direction rather than a negative. Oh man, now my car this, and now my insurance that, and now I'm gonna be without a car, and blah, 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 blah. You start building up that negative spiral, that negative speed picks up. So try to do the opposite. Try to go in a positive direction. Okay, try to think about what you could be grateful, what's good about this situation, what could be good about this situation. If someone's like, hey, I'll give you $1 million if you can list 5 good things right now about this car accident or whatever, or divorce or relationship, I'm sure you can come up with them. All right, so think that way. Over time, just like my brain, I naturally now go to a good positive place. Don't get me wrong, I still think negative thoughts, but I don't dwell on it like I used to. Maybe I sit on it for a minute or two. Here's the problem, but I focus 90 to 95% of my time on the solution rather than the problem. And that's the greatest thing you can do about anything in your life, to change that negative state to a positive state, not sit in it, not dwell in it, and then just becomes a habit, and naturally over time you start to go to initially a good place rather than a bad place. Okay, also, last thing, don't interact with negative people. Limit it. Negative news, negative people, negative media, whether it's on the internet. I don't talk crap about anybody on my channel. I could. Everyone's like, oh, this doctor's an idiot, da 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 da. They do all these reaction videos, and it's always something negative, and you don't need to. I don't want that in my channel. I don't want that in my environment. I could, trust me, I can trash talk a lot of people, but it's not benefit. I don't want to go in that good negative place. I want to be in a good place, because I have to work at it. Okay, I have to really work at being positive. It's maybe not in my nature. I'm not happy-go-lucky. Ignorance is bliss. I'm not that guy. So all I can tell you is from my own experience. I don't want you to be people that I know. Everyone I know who tends to be negative, who tends to keep negative things bottled in, they're all sick, because your body starts eating up inside and starts attacking you inside. Is there clinical evidence about this? Maybe, but I don't care about that clinical evidence. I can only tell you what I've observed for decades. So hopefully this was helpful. If it was, let me know how below in the comment section. Please share it with anyone who might benefit. All right, if you're not subscribed, please do so, because I want to make more content like this. Click the notification icon, and again, let me know below if you found this helpful, what you found helpful, what works for you, what you haven't, what you've learned about the mindset, because it does affect everything in your body, your relationships, your money, and of course your health. All right, as always, wishing you a very happy and healthy day. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Take care.